Hello everyone and welcome to the first match of the fourth round of Season 4 of Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins Randomizer League. I'm Ferran Burgundy. I'll be bringing the action here to you this afternoon as Typo takes on Mal in the first of our Beast Mode matchups. Yes, very exciting here in the fourth and final round of the season. I'll get more into that in a little bit here, but first, the object of Super Mario Land 2 is for our racers to defeat the evil Wario, and to do so, they will advance through these 6 different zones to collect, as the game's title indicates, 6 golden coins by defeating 6 different bosses. And those golden coins allow access to Wario's castle for the final showdown. Now, what's randomized here in Super Mario Land 2? Just about everything. The levels are shuffled, the bosses, enemies, and power-ups are randomized, also changed around to the zone's music. The physics, whether there are normal, moon, or space physics affecting the jump height of Mario, as well as whether or not a zone's level auto-scrolls. And very essentially to both of our runners here, there are 7 zones throughout the game, the 7 zone levels with dual exits, which those may or may not be swapped. Now, in addition to all of that, for Beast Mode, things get a little bit more challenging. The midpoint bells, where our runners, if they hit that bell and happen to die following, they can start in the middle of the board and not have to start all the way from the beginning. Well, those are replaced with enemies, so if you die, you got to start all the way back at the beginning of that zone's level. Plus, the physics are more harsh, the enemy placement is more specific in terms of challenge, and the boss hit points are randomized, as the 3 pigs can take anywhere from 2 to 4 hits each. The bird, octopus, and rat can take anywhere from 3 to 6 hits, and Tatanga the witch in each Wario phase can be 3, 4, or 5 hits. Plus, as far as those power-ups, there's a significant increase in the number of money bags, which all it does is give coins so much as any of the power-ups that Mario is used to. So we are just a mere moments away here from getting things started. Typo tied for 6th in the league with a 3-6-1 record. Mal at 2-4, he's 8th in the league. Both 1-2 on this particular season, and both they've had their struggles with Beast Mode as they're a couple of the newer runners to the community, but they each were able to complete one within the last couple of seasons here, and they both finished within about 2 minutes of one another. So it looks like we are getting things started here and opening things off with the first zone, which, oh, would you look at that? It's in its vanilla location. So we're starting off with the proper start here. Can't go wrong with that. I'm sure the randomization is going to be saved for a little bit later. But that gives them kind of a little bit of a chance to warm up here as they make their way past the Goombas and Piranha Plants and whatnot. As we see Typo picking up a Fire Flower, that's going to help advance his path a little bit here. And Mal also picking up the 1-Up and Fire Flower. So right now, a couple seconds apart, but that is easily changeable as, Typo not able to take out that Paragoomba, but is able to finish the board and is going to move on over to Tree Zone. And let's see what the first Tree Zone brings today. It is going to be Macro Zone 3. So, going to make our way to the chimney fireplace a little early here. And also those arrows that you see on the floor there, well, they push Mario in that particular direction. So that alters the physics a little bit in that regard, as far as kind of walking on like a conveyor belt or a treadmill or something along those lines. So now heading south of that, Typo going to head on through the pipes to advance a little further, and Mal now joining after taking the high road initially. And now both with Fire Flowers, Mal having a little trouble getting through the pipe to the upper end, and Typo now trying to fight fire with fire using the fireballs and skillfully jumping over the fire pits here. Ooh, very nice, timely jump, and is able to take out that Paragoomba that tends to be in the way, and also a Bonefish as well. And Typo is going to finish the zone's level, and Mal was looking for a star but didn't quite get it, as Well, we've got the first of our split zones here, and Tree Zone 2 is going to be Turtle Zone 2, which is the submarine. Typo taking a little bit of damage there. Now, generally, in terms of time, the secret exit is the quicker of the two, but you have to go through what Typo's about to go through here, which is the Gauntlet, as it's well known by the community. A series of enemies that you don't know what they're going to be because it's randomized. You see there's sharks, there's bullet bills, and Typo taking a death right there to one of those aforementioned bullet bills. Now, it looks like Mal, perhaps, this might be where the tide turns here. Mal not even going to bother with the Gauntlet and is going to take the long way to the traditional exit. So if this turns out to be correct and it leads him to the top part of the tree, that'll be a huge advantage for Mal, but taking a little bit of damage there and having to traverse past these enemies very daintily here as Typo back into the Gauntlet. The other challenge with the Gauntlet is, with some very few exceptions, generally you have to navigate your way through as Small Mario, meaning that you have no room for error as Typo taking another hit and a death. Meanwhile, Mal making his way through the very long standard path of the submarine. And again, being very careful because with that long path, if you take a death here, you have to go all the way back to the beginning. So Typo going to get the carrot, which will give him the bunny ears, as Mal is going to take the standard exit. Now let's see if it's correct. It is not! Oh no, so Typo heading on over and briefly checks out what looks to have been Tree Zone 1 in that secret area. So now Mal can catch up pretty quickly here as Typo's had his issues with the Gauntlet. And is able to sneak through with a power-up, so that gives him a little bit of cushion room in terms of a hit. And in fact takes two, but now is down to his last one, and he gets to the end of the Gauntlet. So Typo making his way through, and is going to head on up and over into Tree Zone 3, which this time around, well, that looks to be Pumpkin Secret 2. Mal now making his way back on up. I believe I blinked here as I was looking over at Typo's screen, but might have perhaps taken a death there. And Typo now hopping on up here. Mal realizing the dangers that are ahead of him here. Doubles back. Leads the shark along. Oh, but there's the shark right back, and oh, that is a very tough sandwich to make their way through as Typo is now on the boss level for Tree Zone, which this time around is Turtle Zone 3, inside the whale. So Mal swimming up, being very careful, and is going to head on through the Gauntlet, which is definitely befitting of Beast Mode this time around, as you see Typo hitting those secret power-ups and getting a pair of money bags, and now heads on through, and we've got the three little pigs. Now remember, the amount of hits that they can take is randomized, so in this case, well, it's just 2 for the straw pig and 2 for the stick pig, but taking a bit of damage, not able to float over top anymore. And it's going to be, oh, well, it looks like it is 2 apiece, and Typo is going to get his first coin and the first coin of our matchup here at the 7-minute and 28-second mark. Typo will get the Tree Zone coin. As Mal now continuing to have his struggles here in the gauntlet in the submarine. Typo now heading on up to the Hippo Zone, the second of our split zones. And this time around, it looks as though it is Space Zone 1 with space physics. So able to kind of float his way through. Normally reserved for Space Zone 2. As he finds a nice little power-up along the way. Mal, meanwhile, having all kinds of troubles with the Bullet Bill and Shark combination. And was able to despawn the Shark. So using the space physics is going to make it very easy to get to the secret exit. And moves on. That is the correct one. So that's now 2 for 2 on the secret exits. And now, well, Hippo and Space 1 splitting apart to one another. And meanwhile, heading over to the left to Tree 4 is Mal, and it looks like he's got himself Turtle Zone 1. So almost all the Turtle Zones accounted for here in the early going. So Typo taking the upper path and hitting the bell as well, so he's going to try to get himself a power-up. And he gets himself the carrot, which will give him the bunny ears. And that happens to be the correct exit. So 3 for 3 as we now have a sped up and space zone 2. In its vanilla location. And Mal having more trouble with the sharks. Thought he could get away from them just from the submarine, but it looks like they've followed along, and he's going to say, you know what? Enough of this here. And to answer a question in chat, Rubel asking, is this level ever not in pure 0G? There are many occasions where it has, and even on a few occasions we've seen standard physics with auto-scroll, and those have been extremely devastating. So now Mal heading over and is going to opt to go through Pumpkin Secret 2 instead. And Typo heading on back, getting some extra coins as well and looking for some power-ups, and finds himself getting a Fire Flower as Mal finishes up, and now he's going to make his way to inside the whale. As Typo now getting an invincibility star, so he'll just sprint on through here and get right over to the boss, which is going to this time be the Sewer Rat. So the rat can take anywhere from 3 to 6 hits, and those fireballs make very quick work of him. And that is going to be coin number 2, the Space Zone coin, going to Typo here at 11 minutes and 25 seconds. So an early lead here for Typo, but there are certainly ways for Mal to come back. All it takes is a few missteps, a few deaths, and it is right back to being evened up. But here at Macro Zone 1, so we have another split zone here, and this time around, oh, it looks like we've got Moon Physics in Tree Zone 2. So the jumping is a little bit slower. And Mal looks like, taking a death at the pigs. So he's going to have to start all the way back from the beginning and taking yet another death. You have to wonder if frustration in the early going may be playing a particular part as Typo slowly making his way through the tree sap and avoiding those spikes. And I think Mal may be also feeling a little bit of the pressure of thinking that he's behind given the number of deaths that occurred thus far. So perhaps rushing just a little bit hasty to try to make up for lost time. And that could be playing a factor. So Typo now heading into the fourth of the split zones. Now he'll want to stay up if he wants to get to the secret exit. Although, given the way that these physics are and how the moon jump works with this, it may be a bit difficult for him to get up to that upper level. And the other thing is, even if he was to find a set of bunny ears, well, the ears do not work with moon physics, so he doesn't have the ability to just kind of flutter the ears to hang on there. Ooh, and we have a well-placed bomb, and there's a nice long jump, so Typo is going to get to that second end there, as meanwhile, Mal has finished off the pigs and is going to get coin number 1. And wow, Typo has gotten, he's 4 for 4 so far, as now here at 1351, Mal gets coin number 1. And we've got our first auto-scroller of the mix, and in Macro Zone 2, that is going to be Mario 2. So Mal, happy to see the happy stars up top there, as well as happy to see the space physics allowing him a chance to catch up, but perhaps also thinking, oh man, if this was this easy for me, I wonder if Typo had the same issue. So Mal finding the successful secret exit. That makes him 1 for 2 so far, as he's now onto the Hippo Zone. Now, as long as he keeps the bubble, he'll be able to stay into that upper exit area. And does so. So he is going to be now 2 for 3 on the split zones and go right on up to Space Zone 2. Now, Space Zone 2, normally an auto-scroller, but not this time around, and Typo taking a little bit of damage at the end, but he makes it through, and is now going to go straight onto the Macro Boss Zone, which this time around is in its vanilla location. So Typo traversing through the spikes and conveyor belts and Goombas and other things of that nature. And a well-placed 1-up for Typo there, although I'm sure he was hoping that it would be some sort of a power-up. And there's another of the money bags coming into play. So a couple of well-timed jumps, and we've got the Angry Mama Bird. So he takes 1 hop, takes another, and a third, and that's going to put it out. So that is going to be coin number 3 here for Typo, as Mal working on the sewer rat, and he's going to get coin number 2. So 17-18 for Typo on the Macro Zone coin, and for Mal, it's going to be 17 minutes and 31 seconds for coin number 2. Meanwhile, heading into Pumpkin Zone, well, we've got Star Song action, as we've also got the Macro Secret Zone to start off here, and it's not auto-scrolling for a change. And for a brief second, I thought Typo was trying to spin jump down to the beat, which that would have just been for swag points, I think. And just like that, makes it through as Mal is now on his split zone. And we've got Pumpkin Zone 2 with Pumpkin Zone 3 taking its place. So our runner here is going to, well, our runners are both going to want, if they want to get to that secret exit, they're going to want some sort of ability to take flight, ideally the bunny ears to be able to float to that upper secret exit. If they had some sort of a space physics, they wouldn't have to worry about it, but in this case, it is normal physics in this particular board. And Typo taking a bit of damage there, and we've got a ghost at the place of the midpoint bell. And there are the aforementioned bunny ears, as long as he hangs onto it here, which he is going to. So let's see if Typo can keep it going here. Secret exit in play, and... oh, that ends the streak. So he's going to head on down here, and that is quickly going to be reset, as it was Pumpkin Zone 1 in the secret zone there. So back through goes Typo as Mal hits the secret exit, which is the preferred or ideal exit. So Mal coming back to be 3 for 4 here, as he's now going to hit the auto-scroller of Mario Zone 2. Now, the reason that there isn't exactly an incorrect exit with the Macro Zone split level, but what essentially occurs there is if you take the less desired path, you end up having to go through an extra zone level. As the way that both of our runners went, they went right from 1 to the secret and right over to 4, the boss zone level. Whereas if you take the standard, well, then you have to go... oh, well, as we mentioned now, Typo getting to the right spot here. And it looks like we've got... yes, good old Macro Zone. Macro 1. So in order to get through this zone, they're going to need a Fire Flower, which Typo just got here, if they want to get to that secret exit. And if not, then, well, they can just make their way through the rest of the board. Oh, and well, Mal taking another death there in the auto scroll. As Typo just taking out the ant for good measure and hits the secret exit, which is the correct one. And now we've got the final Pumpkin Zone, which is Mario Zone 4. And it looks like there's no chicanery here in this one, as Mal doing some rather skillful hopping on the various spheres and globes to try to avoid the spikes. But as mentioned earlier, the Macro zone, if you if you go the long way, you have to go through 1, 2, 3, and 4, and have to do 4 levels as opposed to 3. As Typo now getting to the boss here and is going to make some quick calamari of the octopus. And that is going to be coin number 4, the pumpkin zone coin for Typo, and that's going to come here at 22 minutes and 47 seconds. So Mal, meanwhile, looking for which exit to jump up on, and he was hoping for a power-up, but got a 1-up instead. As Typo now into the first Mario Zone, which this time around is Mario Zone 3. So, he was trying to use the shell to kind of do a bit of a boost jump. I guess again, Typo going for some swag. And ducking underneath is Typo, and yeah, some very excellent dodges on Typo's part, as noted in chat. Mal, meanwhile, doing some nice bit of jumping there. Now, I guess advantage to Mario Zone is it's the only zone with no split levels. And this looks to be a pretty quick one here for Mario 2. It's the pumpkin first secret zone. Almost a quick sprint to the finish. And just like that, up to Mario 3, and we've got Star Song action, and we've got an auto-scrolling mole. The miscellaneous overworld level. Oh, but Typo trying to get that fire flower ends up getting crunched by the block and the auto scroll. So a little chance to get it redone here. As Mal continuing to have his share of struggles in the auto-scrolling Mario Zone 2. So we've got a pair of auto-scrollers going on here. Well, as they're both moving along here, this gives me a chance to let you know that this is not the first, or not only the first, or I should say not the only Super Mario Land 2 randomizer race we're going to have today. In fact, this is the first of a trifecta. That's right, coming up at 8 o'clock tonight, we've got Slash Infinity, the creator of the game, taking on Liam Piper, and that's going to be here on Randomania. And then following that at 11 p.m. over on Randomania 2, it's going to be Sharky 2107 against the Squirrel. And we've got back-to-back Star Song action. So the final Mario Zone level is going to be Tree Zone 5. And Late Learner noting that that's 4 a.m. in his local jurisdiction. That's 11 p.m. Although I will note, Late Learner, that had I not booked off of work for the day, I would not be sitting here doing commentary right now. I'd be clock watching for the next hour and a half, waiting for the end of my workday. So Mal making it through the auto-scroller and is now on the Macro Zone 4 in its vanilla location. As Typo using the bunny ears to float along, and we've got Tatanga, the usual Space Zone boss. So this can have anywhere from 3 to 6 hits. Now there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and that's going to be enough. Now you see that it hopped onto its onto a spot that was already occupied. The reasoning for that is it goes by the zone that was completed. So you'll see here, Mal finishing up. It's going to go, in this case, into its macro spot at 2808. So now quickly into Turtle Zone 1 is Typo, and he has... that is Tree Zone 3, the Beehive. So ducking underneath is Mal, kind of saving that coin area. And kind of sprinting through. And to answer Carissa in chat, that is something that had been widely debated, but yes, the apparently the B is 3, and the one with the leaves is 4. I had that mistaken for a long while as well. So now on to the final split zone for Typo, and this is going to be Pumpkin Zone 2. So Mal looking for a power-up, but gets a money bag. Very common here for the beast mode, and ooh! Chris, to answer your question, it's actually from the game data, as was provided to me by the creator of the randomizer /Infinity. So that's where the numbers are here, and another death for Typo. Getting a little hasty with the piranha plant that just hadn't quite gotten out, and oh, Mal taking a death as well, falling into the spikes. So Typo back on here in Pumpkin 2. Mal, meanwhile, navigating through Pumpkin 3. Now, we learned earlier that the standard exit was the correct one, so the fact that Mal does not have the bunny ears at the moment is certainly advantageous. And, of course, as I say that, he gets himself a set of bunny ears. So this is going to be a little bit of a setback here for Mal, as he is going to find out the not-so-good news that that exit is going to lead on down and send him to Pumpkin Zone 1 in the secret location. And an immediate soft reset. And the correct exit again for Typo. So the standard exit was correct, and that's going to lead him to Pumpkin Zone 4 to close things out and take on the final boss here of the 6 zones. So Mal almost making the same And Mal finishing that up and moving on to Pumpkin 3, the next split zone here, and we've got the Witch. Now again, the rhythm thrown off just a little bit as the amount of hits that the Witch can take could be 3, 4, or 5 hits, used to having only be 3. And Typo getting coin number 6 at the 33-minute mark exactly. So Mal, meanwhile, in macro zone 1. Here, the next split zone for him here. So he's going to be looking for the Fire Flower to be able to get on through. As Typo is going to head on into Wario's Castle. At least I believe so. So I know that that it was mentioned in chat for somebody to nerf Typo, but I wonder if somebody did it here right at the entrance. Oh, he might have a bit of a freeze here. So let's take a look at what's going on with Mal in the interim here. As he's got the Fire Flower and trying to make sure he doesn't lose it here, and takes out the Ant, as well as any other potential interferences, and heads on up the pipe. And Mal is going to take the correct exit and move on to the Pumpkin Boss Zone. So Mal now 4 for 6 on the choices here. And a significant delay, probably about a good almost minute and a half delay. And we're getting word in chat that Typo had not with every race, especially the automotive ones, you tend to see that there's the occasional pit stop, and that looked to be exactly what the case was here. So Typo getting his proverbial oil change and is now making his way through the castle and is on the moving platforms, as Mal, meanwhile, has gotten through Mario's Zone and is about to take on the Octopus. And using some fireballs and a stomp, Mal is able to take out the Octopus. And here at 3601, that is coin number 4 for Mal. Typo, meanwhile, getting the ears back and is floating over the last of the platforms here. As Mal now in Mario 3, the first of the Mario zones, and just gets clipped at the end, perhaps intentionally, and there's the spin jump and the star, the invincibility star. Once you kill 100 enemies, you get an automatic invincibility star that drops down, and that was extremely well timed on Typo's part, as that gets him right through the little mini boss spheres there, those facial spheres, and right on to Wario. So it looks like the standard 3 hops for the first phase of Wario, although it could be 3, 4, or 5 hits, and of course another money bag. As now Mal taking a death and hopping once, hopping twice, hopping thrice, and 3 is enough for the second phase of Wario. And we've got the final phase coming up here with the fire flowers. And with a little bit more there, that is going to do it. And make sure to get out your GGs there in chat for Typo, who is going to take first place in this race with an official SRL time of 37 minutes and 21 seconds. So Typo doing better than his, considerably better than his average in terms of completing a Beast Mode seed. Granted, this is only the second one that he has completed in the league, so certainly a lot of improvement, well over a 10-minute improvement. The previous one being done in 55 minutes and 8 seconds, so nothing like a nice almost 18-minute reduction in time. And as noted there in chat, if you want to check out the randomizer for yourself here, you can see the link in chat. It's sml2r.download, and also there you've got the league information, league.sml2r.download, and also the link to the Discord, so you can interact with the fine folks here, get some points, or pointers, I should say, some tips, as well as possibly on your own time race against some of these folks to see how you stand and how you can improve and things of that nature. Oh yes, fine folks and late learner, I forgot, as he says hello there in chat. All right, so we have auto-scrolling star song action as Mal makes his way through the mole. You inject one bit of humor and, oh, okay. Leave it to Oh Dear in chat, who was chastising me not for the comment, but the fact that he typed out the very same thing that I had said as I was saying it. So I kind of beat him to the punch on that. As you can see, it's a good-natured bunch in the chat there. So now making his way up to the final Mario zone and the second of our doubleheader in terms of the Star Song repetition. There we go. Just wanted to give you a little chance to soak in that Star Song fun. And heading onto the pipe, one last fire there, and now on to Tatanga. And just that quickly taking out Tatanga, and that is going to be coin number 5 for Mal here at the 42-minute and 20 6-second mark. So now on to Turtle, and then it's just a matter of Wario's Castle for Mal. And Odie, you're noting in chat that, yes, now it is actually not typo on the left. Puns are fun. So Mal looking to complete things here. He still has a great chance to beat his personal best here in League in Beast Mode or 3FF flags, as his personal best in that is 57 minutes and 48 seconds. So he still has another 14 minutes to go to beat that, and hoping not to give the commentator's curse here, but I think that he has a good chance of besting that here. So on to Turtle Zone 2. I guess Mal contemplating it for a moment. And then hops in. So now, waiting patiently for this normally aquatic creature to make his way on through. And with the bunny ears, able to do some nice floating over the enemies. And decides against the end bell to get a power-up, as he's got a power-up he likes already. And on to the final zone here, Pumpkin Zone 4. Mal waltzing his way through this last board. Already past the midpoint here. And rather than have to traverse these jumps, just floating right on over top of them and right into the pipe. And here comes the battle with the witch. It's now on over to the right side. And one more just for good measure over on the left side. And there goes the witch. And that will be coin number 6. Coming here at just before the 47-minute mark. Officially at 46:55. But now with the date with Wario's Castle, as long as he takes care of it in roughly the next 10 minutes, he'll be able to best his personal time in Beast Mode League competition. Not even bothering with the bunny ear power-up as he's already got it. And takes the bit of damage there. Pretty much intentional. Ooh, and takes another. Literally and figuratively playing with fire. And now onto the platforms. Ooh, a little dangerous jump there, but able to hang on. And now avoiding the... Oh! Well, he avoided 2 out of 3 of the spiked fists. So back into the castle goes Mal here as the Peanut Gallery in chat reacting with inquiry. Back to the platforms. All right, this is where he tripped up previously here, so perhaps with a little bit more trepidation and... Oh! I don't know if that was a missed input, but he attempted to jump up and did not do so. So back into the castle we go once again. And once again with the moving platforms and heads on through the pipe. Avoids the first fist, the second fist, jumps up to despawn the third, and has another issue with that dissolving skull platform. Well, we've said in many a seed that Wario's Castle can be a great equalizer. It can be just as treacherous as it is helpful. It's just in this case, it's treacherous for our second place runner here. But it can prove challenging for anyone. It's so challenging for me that I haven't even completed one, but that's why I do the commentating, folks. So past the platforms, we're back to the fists. So Mal now with the bunny ears floating over top, and now it's just the swirling spiked thwomps here. Deciding to not take the damage on that one, and ooh, held up just a little long there. But now is going to take the opportunity to spin jump and take them out. Ooh, and just barely takes out the last of the facial spheres and was hoping for a power-up, but well, it looks as though he's going to have to go into Wario with Small Mario at least to start, taking care of the throne there, and yep, another money bag. Oh, Mal having a little bit of troubles here with the second one, but is able to take out Wario's second phase, and is going to gladly grab that Fire Flower for the final showdown here. And there's 1, 2, and 3, and that is going to do it. Make it 4, actually. And that is going to do it for Mal. So get out your GGs as he actually beats his personal best in league competition in Beast Mode by exactly 4 minutes with an official SRL time of 53 minutes and 48 seconds. Now, I did get word from our Victor Typo. He is unable to join us as far as a post-race interview, but did leave his thoughts with me here, noting that he had a few unfortunate deaths, but good exit luck overall, as, well, he ended up going 6 for 7, the only one being the Pumpkin Zone split, as both of our racers took the upper path, and that was less than ideal. But he said good exit luck and not too hard for a beast mode seed, at least in his opinion, and that the carrot block really saved the day on Gauntlet, as that hidden block that had the carrot that allowed him to zip through and take those extra couple of bits of damage to be able to get through the Gauntlet. Yeah, the discussion going on. I don't think Mal was aware of that particular hidden block. But that's the nature of this type of randomizer, and this as well as many other types of games, is you learn something new every time. So the occasional change up of things, and the fact that you can, everybody's new at this at some point. So everybody has a chance to improve. That is for sure. So I don't know if we're going to hear from Mal, get any final thoughts from Mal. We'll check on that, and in the meanwhile, let you know about some of the other events coming up here among the Randomania networks, including in just a little under 4 hours from now, the second of our triple header today, as it's going to be in Super Mario Land 2 Randomizer League action. It's going to be Slash Infinity against Liam Piper. Followed pretty much immediately here on Randomania by the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise Weekly Race that should be going on around 9:30 this evening. Meanwhile, at 11 p.m. Eastern, just a little under 7 hours from now, over on Randomania 2, it'll be the third of our triple header as Sharky 2107 takes on the Squirrel. Meanwhile, tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock Eastern on Randomania, it's going to be the Legend of Zelda Randomizer Battle Royale. And Wednesday, there's quite a few fun things going on here. As first at 5 o'clock Eastern, it's going to be Late Learner against Oh Dear here in Super Mario Land 2 Randomizer League action. And then at 8 o'clock, over on Randomania 2, this should be interesting. Mutants and Masterminds Bay City Chronicles. That's going to be held through the Randomania administrative staff. That's become a Wednesday night tradition over the course of the last few weeks. And over, I believe, on the main Randomania channel, unless something changes here, at 9 o'clock Eastern on Wednesday, it's going to be the Dragon Warrior Randomizer weekly race, which will be big as the tournament is coming up in just a couple of weeks from now. The third annual Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament. So that certainly should be a lot of fun as well. And don't forget, on Saturday nights here among the Randomania networks is the Super Mario Brothers 3 Randomizer weekly race. So just and that's usually at 9 o'clock Eastern on Saturday nights. So let me see. I believe that we are not going to hear from Mal, although if you want to check out the Discord, I'm sure you can get his as well as Typo and just about everybody else's thoughts on this over on there. I want to give special thanks to our restreamer and tracker, Captain Green 7, doing a fantastic job as always. Actually, this is his first time restreaming, so good that you're getting on board with that, and that certainly is appreciated. And make sure to give both of our runners a follow, not underscore Typo and malkuckn. And for everybody else among the community here, until next time, I'm Ferran Burgundy, saying may your stars sing brightly and your seeds stay classy. Until next time, about 4 hours from now, good day, everyone.